What's up, everybody, and welcome to the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, the show that brings you the video game news you need to know about each and every week. It goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom and on podcast services around the globe, places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, really any podcast service of your choosing. I'm one of your hosts, Joshua Wojcik, aka HexxedPhenom, and I'm joined by the abstract rocker, GP. GP, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, brother. How about you?
I'm doing pretty damn good. I just got the fresh cut today. Nice little beard trim. Looking good, feeling good, you know?
Looking fresh. Ready for
thank you.
AEW on Sunday.
Hell yeah.
Got the newest iPhone. Just upgraded today. Feeling pretty good about that. And
Nice.
I went for a nice walk and partied a little bit. And, gamed. We've been just kind of killing time. It's been an interesting few days, but yeah, it's definitely going. Starting to catch up on a lot of games I haven't had the time to give the love to, honestly. It feels good.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what you've been playing, or was that?
Well, so what I've been doing is I started playing the Ghostbusters remaster. That is an incredible game. It was great. I remember it back on the PS3 era. My friends had it. But I never really gave it the love that it deserved, and then I got it, and it sat for a good year since I got it. I'm like, you know what? My schedule's open, and I could start doing a lot of things I haven't had time to get to. That's one of the games. I do want to get more into Star Wars Pod Racer that came out during lockdown. I believe they did the whole upscale from N64. I want to stream the original Grand Theft Auto trilogy, the one that doesn't suck.
That's a great disclaimer. The one that doesn't suck.
The classic PS2 trilogy, the one that doesn't suck. That's on the list. I can't remember the other one. There's something else on the PS4 that I'm missing. Oh, I have to also finish SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom remastered.
Nice.
On the PS5, I need to actually start playing Watch Dogs Legion, and I want to get on Wreckfest some more. So there's still quite a few games that really get into. The GTA trilogy I'm really excited for, just because it's the one that doesn't suck. It's easy to throw a punch at the definitive trilogy. Baffles me that it even still exists. Do you see there was a giant patch update for the definitive edition this past week?
I heard that they were putting one out, but I didn't see what it actually included. So
if you want, I think it's I have a new phone. I can pull it back up though. Hold on. There is hold on. They do have the patch notes. It's it's so bloated. It's just
I believe it.
Oh god.
I mean, if my theory stands true, the game still probably wasn't planned to have been out yet. So
all right, so the question that it comes down to, which game do you want to know the patch notes for? Because honestly, it seems like they are like fixing every single issue with these games, like improved game performance across all the platforms and graphics, stability improvements, fix several issues when attempting to retry a mission from the last checkpoint. I can't even believe that has to be addressed. Fix a number of collision issues in the environment, fix a number of texture, art, and signage issues, fix character models, improve the high fade haircut. Yes, we are improving haircuts now, apparently. Improve the first-person camera view in certain vehicles. Honestly, this just shows that they had no idea what the fuck they were doing. Let's see.
I'm glad they're fixing it. Don't get me wrong, but like a lot of these issues shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know what I mean?
Shouldn't have been there. Like I'll pick out. Let me pick out the most. I'm going to pick out the most idiotic things that they fixed in this. Improve firefighter and paramedic UI. Improve the audio during Sweets Girl. Fixed an issue with the ground texture at the Angels Pine Motel. Fixed a collision issue in the alley at the small town bank. Fuck, this is crazy. Fixed an issue that resulted in the instructions remaining on screen for the duration of taxi driver and EMS missions. Oh god. Fixed an issue that resulted in CJ's reflection not appearing in mirrors when aiming. What the fuck? Wow. Fix an issue that resulted in NPCs clipping through their beds and their vehicles. Fixed an issue that resulted in the achievement "Ain't Nothing But a G Thang" not being awarded.
It just baffles me that there are so many problems that didn't exist in the original versions. Like, they created so many additional problems by the method that they used to make these games that it almost seems like it would have been easier to try to just build off of the PS2 version instead of the mobile version.
I don't understand why they. I don't know. Well, let's just say that there's a lot of audio issues that they fixed, which shouldn't have even been an issue.
And again, like I'm glad they're fixing it. I'm glad they didn't just fucking drop it and run, because there are some developers that do that. But
hit the ground running.
Still, a lot of those issues shouldn't have been there.
So let's go down some of these other issues, I should say. Fix an issue that resulted in building debris collision not resetting after retrying the mission. Yay, K boom boom. Alrighty.
Are these all for San Andreas?
This is all for San Andreas right now.
Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of these. There's about 30 of these for each different parts of missions.
Jesus Christ, dude.
For example, fix an issue that resulted in the Corona at the Papticon appearing oversized in the mission photo opportunity. Fixed a number of progression issues within this mission, Pierce 69. Fixed an issue that resulted in big head cheats persisting when switching between games without closing. Oh God, these are.
All right, I think I've heard enough, GP.
Oh no. There's some crazy ones here. Like, fix an issue that resulted in the player being unable to drive any vehicles after loading a save during the lowrider challenge that resulted in oversized models. Wow. Jesus Christ. Let's just say there is a lot of fixed an issue that resulted in during the mission. I don't understand that. Oh, here we go. Fixed a reverse window texture at the Los Santos pawn shop. Wow. That's what I like to see. Fixed an issue that resulted in the African pendant dog tags and stopwatch appearing black when equipped with other clothing, resulting in texture glitches. Oh my God.
I don't understand how all these issues cropped up.
It's just, if you really want me to go to the GTA 3 and Vice City, there are things for those too, but apparently the patches in total are a whopping 15 gigabytes again.
Well, JP, while I am enticed to have a whole podcast of you just reading patch notes, I think we'll save that for a different time.
Guys, welcome to a very special edition of the podcast where JP will read the newest patch additions to the GTA Definitive Trilogy and give his comments on every single one.
Jesus, that'd be like a 12-hour podcast probably.
But JP, I really liked what you said about 45 minutes into like what you said about to an hour and a half in. It's like, oh. Needless to say, the game is absolutely broken, and I feel horrible for the people that got conned into buying that, especially on the Wii. Oh my God, I can't even imagine that.
Oh, on the Switch, yeah.
But the funny part is, on the flip side, it's going to release on mobile probably sometime in spring, and ironically, it looks and plays better on the mobile devices. I don't know. Oh, they did good at Grove Street Games, I tell you. They did great. They held up the fort.
They sure did. Yeah. In terms of what I've been playing this week, I haven't had a ton of time to game. I've been doing a lot of running around this week. So I've pretty much all my gaming time was spent finishing up Horizon Forbidden West. I finished the main story, and then after that, I needed by the time I was finished with the main story, I needed maybe 7 or 8 trophies for the platinum. So I did finish up the platinum as well. And I know I've said it for the last 2 or 3 weeks on the podcast, but that game is so fucking fun. I love it. It was a great time. Definitely recommend it. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's all I really had time to play this week, but I'm really excited for Gran Turismo 7 to come out tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that. Tomorrow as of recording, but it'll be already be out by the time you guys see this, but I'm excited for that. I'm excited for WWE on Tuesday for early access and next Friday for uh, regular edition buyers, but yeah, decent week ahead in games I'm pretty excited for.
Hell
But yeah,
I'm
that's about it.
GT5 on PS5. I think that's the only game I'm currently waiting for. But we already know
when
how
does
that's
that come out? What's the date on that?
March 15th, I believe.
Oh shit, so it's pretty close as well.
I don't know if I'm gonna. Huh? You think GameStop has a pre-order bonus for that?
I doubt it.
So I don't go the. Yeah, I don't really go to GameStop that much.
I haven't been inside a GameStop in probably a while. Probably at least like 6 to 8 months, if not longer.
I like how you go, probably it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while since I even went in. I'm just sitting here restoring some stuff on my phone while we're doing this. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna probably look into that right after I'm done getting back into my Google. Started deleting a bunch of stuff, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I know what you mean.
So yeah,
But
everything's been going though.
hell yeah. Well, JP, let's hop into the news with our first and biggest headline of the week. It's been a bit of a slow week again. We picked up some steam a little bit, but let's talk about Pokemon Generation 9, Pokemon Gen 9, and all the news from Pokemon Day. This is by Anna Diaz, Nicole Carpenter, and Julia Lee over at Polygon. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet are launching later in 2022. The next mainline entry in the 26-year-old Pokemon series will be Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, the Pokemon Company announced on Sunday. It is the biggest news coming out of a 14-minute Pokemon Day livestream, but hardly the only announcement. Alolan Pokemon will join Pokemon Go on March 1st. Pokemon Legends Arceus major Daybreak update, along with 90 free Pokeballs, also launched on Sunday. There's also an anime adaptation spotlighting Arceus' Hisui region, launching sometime later in 2022 as well. Here's all the news and announcements from the Pokemon Presents broadcast on February 27th, 2022. Pokemon Legends Arceus Hisui region is getting an online anime series. It's set to be released later this year. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's new starters are Sprigatito, the grass cat Pokemon, Fuecoco, the fire crocodile Pokemon, and Quaxley, the water duck Pokemon. Pokemon Legends Arceus gets a Daybreak update, and you get 30 Gigaton Balls, Ultra Balls, and Jet Balls. Pokemon's next games are Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. New starters revealed. Violet and Scarlet will be coming sometime later in 2022. And Alolan Pokemon are coming to Pokemon Go. Say Alola to some familiar faces from Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Aloha.
So, let's see. I thought this was going to be an article talking more about Pokemon Scarlet.
But, as you segue through that article, I have an update on the Grand Theft Auto PS5 thing, and it's kind of strange actually. There's no listing at all for Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS5 or Xbox Series X. Not on Amazon. Not on Game.
I don't think it's having a physical release. I think that's why. At least not at launch.
Oh. Oh damn! I was really hoping to get myself a new thing of it. So it's gonna turn.
I think you'll probably have to use it might be only digital download only, or see, I don't think they announced any upgrade path for it. I was gonna say maybe if you use your PS4 disc and then upgrade, but I don't think they announced an upgrade path as far as I remember.
Oh damn! Because I really want a physical copy of it. Oh well, okay. Well, looks like that's not gonna happen. I was like, man, nobody has this. Nobody has this on for a pre-order. What? Okay. Well, that's an update.
Yeah, let me see. No, yeah, there's not really any information on Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Although they didn't really show or talk about much. They just showed like a minute and a half, or well, I think the trailer itself was like 3 minutes, but it was like live action footage mixed with game footage. So if you're talking about actual game footage, it was maybe like a minute. And it was mostly just, it basically looked like the natural evolution, no pun intended, of Pokemon based on what we got with Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. It basically just looks like that, but in a new location. And the only new Pokemon they showed, as far as I could tell, was 3 starters. So I personally almost always go with the fire Pokemon. So Fuecoco is going to be my go-to, but...
Fuecoco. Hasta Fuego.
It seems like, based on the names of the starters and just the locale of the region, it seems like it's going to be based on Spain or something of that nature. So,
oh hell yeah!
But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. And GP, let's jump into something that I thought is going to be a really niche news story, but I think you would get a kick out of it. Okay. Red Hot Chili Peppers' 1999 song Californication is a free video game, finally. You can download it for Windows or Mac now. This is by Anna Diaz over at Polygon. It's been more than 20 years since the Red Hot Chili Peppers' 1999 album Californication was first released, and thanks to the work of developer Mikel Camps-Orteza, its title track has been turned into a video game, finally. In 2000, the album's title track was released as a single. It came with a music video full of janky 3D rendered animated scenes that resembled an old PlayStation game. Californication, the video game, recreates the spirit of these scenes, except now you can actually play through them as if the song was a video game. The original music video is a delirious fever dream of a shirtless character facing bears and chainsaw-wielding maniacs, running through forests and taking a mining cart through a mine, and grinding a snowboard on the piping of San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge. The game trailer looks a whole lot like the original video and shows gameplay of the character soaring above city skies, running from giant boulders, and swimming through the ocean. According to Orteza, the game started as a 2-day challenge and snowballed into a full game with 7 levels that all have their own settings and mechanics. Those looking to relive the glory days of the Red Hot Chili Peppers can download the game for free on itch.io now for Windows, PC, and Mac OS. That's itch.io on Windows, PC, and Mac OS. JP, what do you think about this? Because even I can remember vaguely, but I remember this music video. And I remember thinking, whoa, it's a video game? That's cool, dude.
God, that album is iconic. Came out in 99, I believe. I think it was 99. But
yeah, I think that's what the article said.
Really great record. Lots of staples from their catalog, which is interesting, is that album was a gamble for them. I thought it was pretty cool how they were getting more into, I guess, like the future of what rock would be shaped as. And they nailed it on the head with that album. Californication, the title track itself, is absolutely incredible. And it's a video game. It's really interesting how that even came about. I think I'm going to look that up right now, actually, on my phone, because I'm like, what? Californication.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this actual game looks like, but
that is so fucking crazy. What the hell?
Let's see, Californication.
Yep, came out in 99.
Video game.
Oh, in 2000 it was released as a single. The original music video was a delirious fever dream. So that's interesting how it looks really, really good, actually. That's fucking nuts. That's something I didn't expect to see today. So that's always the always the best way to go with podcasts. No doubts on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it actually does look it does look almost exact. Like if you showed this to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's exactly how the music video looked. So
like, yeah, that's
it
the
definitely looks like they captured the spirit of the music video, which is really cool. But I don't know, if you're into Red Hot Chili Peppers or bands of the sort, or if you know the music video we're talking about, then I would definitely give that a search. At least look at gameplay for it, because it's an interesting ride. So
Yeah, I'm definitely have to look at the video of that after just to see.
that was one where I was like scrolling through all the news articles, and I was like, I read the headline, and I'm like, you have piqued my interest. I must read this on the show. So let's see. Let's move on to this one is for our friend Tyler out there. Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 get Xbox Series X and PS5 launches. Remakes and remasters will be free upgrades for existing PS4, Xbox One, and PC owners. This is by Owen S. Good over at Polygon. Ray tracing, advanced frame rate support, 4K resolution, and other cutting-edge visuals are coming to Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 in versions for the PlayStation 5 and Series X. The games will launch later in 2022. Players who have already bought any of the 3 on PS4 and Xbox One will get an upgrade within the same console family for free, Capcom said. The PlayStation 5 versions will make use of the DualSense features. The DualSense controller's advanced haptic features. Furthermore, a patch bringing the same upgrades to PC will also be available for free to owners of those games. Resident Evil 2, a remake of the 1998 game by the same name, launched on PS4, Windows PC, and Xbox One in January 2019. Resident Evil 3, likewise a remake of its 1999 namesake, launched on the same platforms in April 2020. Both feature gigantic, unstoppable bad guys, Mr. X in RE2 and Nemesis in RE3, who spawned a cottage industry of humorous substitution mods. Presumably, Thomas the Tank Engine and Animal Crossing's Isabelle will look even more lifelike once this PC patch rolls out. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard launched in 2017, and it was the first feature-length release to use Capcom's RE engine, as did the 2 subsequent remakes. It's also the first Resident Evil game to use a fully first-person player perspective. Last year's Resident Evil Village, the 8th game in the main series, spanning 25 years, also used the same engine and camera. All 4 of the games launched since 2017 have been critical and commercial successes for Capcom, earning strong review scores and reaching Capcom's in-house platinum status for selling more than 1 million copies. And then linked in the article is a bunch of screenshots. They look real pretty. But, I mean, the PS4 versions already looked plenty pretty. JP, are you... I'm not sure. Do you play the Resident Evil games? Does this interest you at all?
Doesn't really interest me at all, but for the fans of that series, it definitely does. It's going to be cool to watch, without a doubt. I'm just not really too big on the Resident Evil series. I mean, the movies I actually thoroughly enjoyed. The games, I think they're good. It's just I can't get fully behind them. It's just not my style of game, honestly. But for fans of the series, man, I'm sure that shit's gonna be fucking popping.
Yeah,
a doubt.
For me, I think the only Resident Evil. Well, okay, I played maybe the first like 2 missions of Resident Evil 5 once a long time ago. Other than that, Resident Evil 2 Remake is the only one that I really played, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I still don't know if it's a game that I would, or the series in general. Like, I don't know if there are games that I would go and spend $60, $70 on, like when they're new. Maybe on sale, I would, think about grabbing some of them, but for me personally, at least. But RE2, I did like quite a bit, so I don't own it. I borrowed it from Tyler, so I won't be able to try out the PS5 version, but I'm sure Tyler's going to have a field day with the 3 of these games coming to PS5. Well, maybe not 7, but because I don't think he likes 7 all that much, but at least 2 and 3 I know he'll be super happy about.
Yeah. I don't think he. I remember something with him talking about 7. I don't think he likes.
He doesn't like 7, but I know he likes 8, so maybe he'll go back and try 7. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. But definitely some big news for RE fans. Let's see. Okay, so this one is really interesting, JP. Forza Horizon 5 gets American Sign Language support for in-game cutscenes. The developers hope this will set a precedent. This is by Petrana Radilovich at Polygon. I apologize if I butchered your name. Racing game Forza Horizon 5 will soon have full American and British sign language support for the in-game cutscenes. I didn't know British and Americans had different sign language. That's kind of weird to me. You would think it would be universal, but whatever. In a new video, the game developers behind Forza weigh in on the importance of accessibility, and deaf and hard of hearing gamers share their experiences with this new feature. For many deaf individuals, English is their second language, and reading captions adds an extra hurdle to the experience. Quote, "We should be able to access the same story beats and narrative components," end quote, explains Cameron Akit, an accessibility consultant, in a blog post for Microsoft. Quote, "Otherwise, we're only getting half the picture and not getting the full experience. Including sign language is about enabling more deaf and hard of hearing gamers to have ownership over their gaming experience," end quote. The new feature will include a sign language interpreter on screen during the cutscenes of Forza Horizon 5. It goes beyond just having an actor on the screen. The developers at Playground made sure to include native speakers of the language in order to help convey the exact nuances of the spoken words via sign language. Additionally, the pop-up video of the interpreter can be moved around the screen, and the color of the background adjusted for the player preference. Quote, "It really sets a precedent. It sets a bar. It's very much like new territory, because if a company like Playground can do this, why can't other big studios go to the same lengths," end quote, Akit says. The update will roll out on March 1st. For more information, check out the blog post. So it sounds like this has already been out for a couple days. But JP, can we talk about how fucking cool this is, about the strides that we're making in accessibility in gaming nowadays?
Yeah, it's definitely amazing to see all the advances that we're making, making advances at a dangerous rate. I think it's really fucking cool though. I really can't wait to see where everything goes in the future as well. I mean, just seeing where we gone even from the 90s to now to God, even if you think about a console generation, I mean, look what the fuck we did.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Technology always evolving, and it's just going to be interesting to see where the future leads us, man. It really is on many fronts.
Yeah. The big thing for me is like, and I think this is the kind of the problem with accessibility, which is why I'm so glad that that these studios are bringing in people who have special needs for games like this. And so I'm glad that they're bringing in people to help consult on these accessibility features now, because that's something that I, as someone who is not deaf, I would have never considered that, this is a thing that deaf people would want or would need. Because in my head, I would think that just having subtitles would be adequate. But now that I think about it, it's like, yeah, well, if you're just reading subtitles, you don't really get the nuance of how these words are being used and in what capacity they're being used to. And, so this is really, really cool, this whole thing. And I really hope that we keep going with accessibility, and that every game has some sort of accessibility options, and that everybody can play any game anytime they want. And I know we're a far, far cry from that even now, but even in the last couple of years, we've made big strides to get there. And I hope we keep fucking going, because everybody should be able to enjoy video games the way that they want to and the way that they need to.
Accessibility should definitely be a key factor. I mean, it also kind of makes me think about games like WWE 2K22 that don't have that. There's just there's a lot of games out there. It's like people can't play it because there isn't different mapping or things to help deaf people, or just all these accessibility features can really change things. And honestly, it can probably make or break a game anymore at this point, depending on what your intended fan base is.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting, man. I can't wait to see where the hell we go. I really think accessibility should be key. And
Definitely.
For example, I mean, if 2K22 let you do your own controls, I think people would be more into buying it, just because I'm not really into the whole control scheme that they got going on there.
I mean, even now, that is one of the things I am most concerned about for this game.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, not to repeat myself, but accessibility needs to continue to go in this direction. This is awesome. Huge props to Microsoft and Xbox and Playground Games and everyone who made this possible. And yeah, let's keep fucking going and make sure that everybody can enjoy video games.
HexxedPhenom. That's what it's all about.
Let's see. All right. Next news story. DICE is reworking Battlefield 2042 maps, says future maps will be smaller. Kaleidoscope will see the first rework in Season 1. This is by Ryan Gilliam over at Polygon. After a rough launch period for Battlefield 2042, developer DICE updated players on key design changes for its shooter in a blog post Thursday morning. The studio says it's discovered some pain points across all of Battlefield 2042's maps, although these issues are prominent in some maps more than others, and revealed changes coming in Season 1 to help alleviate the problems, as well as plans to build smaller maps in the future. In its research, DICE says it has discovered issues with the traversal, intensity, line of sights, paths, and cover in Battlefield 2042's maps. The game's maps are too large and objective areas too spread out. It takes players too long to move from their base to the nearest objective, leading to a lot of traversal time. Quote, we've seen you use such terms as, quote, walking simulator to describe how this feels in-game, end quote, the developer said. Quote, we understand that this isn't a satisfying experience and agree that there's too much overall travel time, end quote. However, once in combat, things can get a bit too intense with the number of players and vehicles swarming around. DICE said it's looking to reduce the player count in certain modes, specifically Breakthrough, where it'll likely land on 64 players. It's also looking at removing the number of vehicles players have access to. The studio will move certain bases and objectives closer together, as you can see in the image below. The attack groups in Sector 1 are far closer together in the prototype layout, and the attackers will start on the same side of the map as the objective. This should help concentrate players in the objective area and reduce the amount of time spent walking from the base to attack points. The cover and line of sight issues both play into each other, with DICE revealing that players are often caught in large areas without much cover. This forces much of the game's combat into longer range battles than the studio intended, so it's exploring more ways for players to hide themselves as they cross the map. The studio also wants more clearly defined paths for players to walk, which should make defining an objective more predictable. DICE said it's going to make these changes gradually to older maps, starting with what it believes to be its biggest offender, Kaleidoscope. The Kaleidoscope rework for both Breakthrough and Conquest modes is slated for Battlefield 2042's first season, which won't hit until later this summer. These changes will also be applied to future maps still in development, with a bigger focus on developing smaller maps than players saw at launch. DICE said Battlefield 2042 supports player counts up to 128 players, with extra large-size maps designed to accommodate that increased player size. The developer said it's gathering feedback from players on future pain points to solve for, as well as other maps that are causing serious issues. So, unfortunately for EA, yet another bad headline, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess it's good and bad in a sense. Like, it's yet another problem with Battlefield 2042 that needs to be fixed, but at least they're committing to fixing it and kind of realizing that they need to figure something out here when it comes to the map size.
At least they're realizing what they have to do, but I just find it ironic how they figure this out as the game's Left 4 Dead and basically a alpha state. I don't even think people could still talk to each other in that game right now.
Nope.
And
still no scoreboard either.
Man, I just would love to know what some of those people are thinking right now that said Battlefield was going to kill COD. Honestly, I think Battlefield killed themselves. Honestly, it's very sad. It's
pretty
very
much,
sad.
yeah.
Because I really.
But EA pretty much does that with all of their franchises, so it about adds up. So it's unfortunate, but
it's where they go to die,
basically. But yeah, man, like, and I mean, granted, like I understand that changes like these take a long time, but these were complaints that I heard when the game was in beta, was that the map, I don't remember. I'm trying to think. I don't remember how many maps were in the beta or whatever the first like public gameplay was. I think they slowly rolled out a couple maps. Like I think it started with just one and then they rolled out a couple more. But I remember people saying this back during the beta, like that there was too much open space. It took too long to get anywhere. There was too many vehicles. So it's odd that it's taking them this long to kind of realize it and kind of start to fix it. But again, at least they are committed to fixing it. So that's, you know,
At least you're committed, you know.
as much as these problems, it's better late than never, but late is never better, you know?
It's just, man, I don't know. It's kind of like seeing Battlefield trying to get their bearings straight is like Kanye West trying to get his head screwed on. It's both entertaining yet pathetic at the same time. But like at least they have a direction. Just like Kanye apparently has a direction. I highly doubt he does, but it remains to be seen. You know, man could have a direction, or man could have his mind. Yeah, it's not looking good. But you know, for Battlefield, I'd say it's kind of the same thing. It's like it's something popular, renowned. People care very dearly about, and it seems like it's completely falling apart at the seams.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you're saying there. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure we'll continue to cover Battlefield 2042 and what happens to the game, and I don't know. Maybe in a year or two's time, it'll actually be a fully finished game. So we'll see what happens. Okay, got two more news stories. These are pretty quick. This one is pretty fresh from today, as of recording. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is bringing back a fan-favorite multiplayer map. Activision goes back a couple years for its latest DLC. This is by Matt Leon over at Polygon. I apologize if I butchered your name. Activision and Treyarch announced a bit of a surprise this morning. There's a new multiplayer map headed to 2020's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and it's arriving tomorrow. The map, WMD, is a remastered version of the map from the same name from the original Call of Duty Black Ops and is set around an abandoned weapons facility. According to Activision's official description, quote, expect a lot of action around the central production facility and bring backup when navigating the treacherous roads. Climb just about anything and everything to get the most out of this map, as verticality is the name of the game here, end quote. In addition to the map, Treyarch is delivering a new Vargo 52 assault rifle for multiplayer and zombies. Activision says it's particularly effective where versatile equipment reigns, and in zombies it can be one of the most devastating assault rifles in the game with the right suite of attachments. Both come unexpectedly, as Activision's releasing new content for older Call of Duty games is relatively rare. Activision has said that Call of Duty Vanguard, its 2021 entry in the series, underperformed. And then it just has a link to Activision's official announcement and posts about this content drop for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. JP, I think both of us have been outspoken here on this show about our feelings about Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and its potential for more content. So, JP, what do you think now that we officially know that we're getting more content for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War?
I'm actually very excited. I'm very excited just because I feel like Cold War is definitely the most supportive Call of Duty game. At this point, it probably will continue, especially knowing now, you know, you have all these rumors that Zombie Chronicles 2 is probably going to pop in there in 23. Just to make some extra money, because you know people will come right back to fucking Cold War. I don't mind. I don't mind Vanguard or Vanguard Zombies. I like them both. It's just you know, the Vanguard Zombies kind of makes you wanting more. But you know, hey, at least we had something. They didn't have to make that game. Well, they kind of did. Activision forced them to, but you know, with Cold War, I just think it's cool how they're just starting to pull out all the stops and add a lot more content, including nostalgia. There's a rumor that there's going to be 2 zombie maps this year, which I could see happening somehow, even if it's like Nocturne Totem or I don't know, something. But yeah, and you know, I really do think we could see probably that content drop maybe in spring 23, something just to keep people going or something. God only knows what they'll throw in it, but yeah, I think Cold War is going to be here for quite a while and show how definitive the game really is, even despite all the, you know, controversy and all the shit people are saying about it. But that seems to be every game. Yeah, there's good and bad parts to every game, but yeah, Black Ops Cold War I think is probably something that had to happen. It originally probably wasn't on the cards for a while, but it happened.
I mean,
And
originally it was supposed to be a Sledgehammer and Raven game, and Treyarch had to come in and kind of switch it around to a Black Ops game in 18 months. So,
yep. So I'd say for the progress they made, I think we're looking pretty good. We got to eventually go on Outbreak again. I would love to play Outbreak with you guys, and the best part is we link up in Cold War while we do it. I mean, in Vanguard while we do it. So
I mean, I'm
cool.
definitely down to hop on and try out this new assault rifle. They claim it could be the most devastating assault rifle in zombies. So, although granted, that doesn't mean much to me because most of the assault rifles in zombies actually aren't that great, if you ask me, even with all the good attachments. So we'll see. But
yeah, so
shotguns reign supreme in zombies, at least in Cold War.
Yeah, you can see they're starting to level it a bit more for Vanguard, but you can tell the shotgun is probably the way to go for the long haul, or having a side shotgun even better. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I think it's cool knowing that we can rank up in Vanguard while playing Cold War, and yeah, I'd definitely be down. I'm sure Ant would, and we could rally the troops.
Oh yeah.
Something tells me they might start adding more areas in Outbreak, maybe, if they're going to start putting these maps in, even if they're just Black Ops 4 ports. I mean, maybe they could
if
do
it's
it.
something that would be like simple and easy for them to do, I'm fine with. But if it's something that like is actively, taking taking development time away from their next game, then I would say just fucking leave it. Like, as much as I love Cold War and I would love more content for Cold War, if it's going to negatively affect their next game, then I say just fuck it and leave it alone, because I really want to see what Treyarch can do on a game that is next gen only with an extra year of development time, so a 4-year cycle. I really want to see what they can do when they are able to pull out all the stops and really fucking go at it for 4 years.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're going to come out with too. I think I'm just going to dub it Black Ops 5 because I'm assuming that's probably going to be what it is.
No, JP, we've had this conversation on the podcast before. It's going to be called Black Ops 2-2. You got to remember that. Black Ops 2-2.
Just like world, it's just got to be Modern Warfare 2-2. Black Ops 2.
Exactly. They could have had a whole trilogy of 2-2s and they didn't fucking do it. Oh, a bunch of fucking dumbasses.
2-2s.
They could have had World War 2-2, Modern Warfare 2-2, and Black Ops 2-2, and they were just like, no, we're a bunch of fucking cowards. That's what they said. We're a bunch of fucking cowards.
2-2. So, yeah, I don't know what to see, but something tells me, I mean, if they did the dumbass logo they had for Black Ops 4, I might as well make it cool with a V. I think that'd be really cool to see. A nice mechanical V with the Black Ops fire and everything in it. I'd be like, yeah. But yeah, we'll have to see. Other than that, I'm glad Cold War is still holding its own, and definitely is going to probably prove it again to everybody. God, at this rate, I heard there's more people on Cold War than Vanguard. I don't know. That might be true. I mean, I like them both, but yeah, we'll have to see what they do, man. I really think we're going to see some more remastered multiplayer maps. Probably going to see like a little cheeky tease towards maybe a Zombie Chronicles 2.0. Maybe they'll put one map in with one original map, or just concepts that they fucked around with. I'm sure it's not going to be anything over the top, but I'm sure they're going to still add something. Like, I could see Outbreak getting maybe like another region or two. Just things to keep the content going. Because, like, in theory, doesn't that mean now that Cold War is going to have content every season, right?
I don't know if it's been officially confirmed. I think people are potentially thinking that, but as far as I can remember, I think so far at least, WMD and this assault rifle was the only content that was leaked from the game files.
Yeah, that was for season 2, technically, with Vanguard. I do want, something tells me we're going to get new content every season. Not a lot of content or a battle pass, but I think we're going to see some new shit come in. I think it's going to be interesting. I think Cold War could still stand on its feet, and if they're going to add maps, maybe they'll add another fire team map, just to keep something coming. Nothing crazy, but
yeah.
I could see it. Maybe new operators. Maybe I don't know. Ravenoff. I'm surprised Ravenoff wasn't used originally.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing that leaked.
Ravenoff.
Ravenov as an operator, which
Yes,
I'm kind of surprised that unless I missed it somewhere, I'm kind of surprised that he wasn't announced alongside all this stuff. Unless they're holding him off to drop him sometime later.
Yeah, we'll have to see just what they're gonna do, but I'm sure every season for Vanguard you're gonna see new content in Cold War, even if
I'd be
it's
down for that.
even if it's just like a map. That's why I can see the two zombie maps probably happening, maybe two outbreak regions or something, because I'm sure they have assets somewhere. I mean, outbreak is basically all assets anyway, so.
I mean, yeah, most of those maps were made for that what the hell, that fire team
Oh,
mode. So
yeah, it was gonna be made for a second blackout. Thank God
yeah,
that happened.
Blackout 2-2.
Blackout 2-2. I just started looking around like my mom will be in the hallway. 2-2. Like, what are you talking about?
2-2.
2-2. Look at me. I am the two now. Yeah.
All right, JP. One last news story, and then we'll get on out of here. EA Sports removes Russian teams from NHL, FIFA video games in response to worldwide sanctions against Russian competitors. This is by Owen S. Good at Polygon. Russian and Belarusian national clubs will be removed from Electronic Arts FIFA 22 and NHL 22 as the global backlash towards those nations for the February 24th invasion of Ukraine filters through world sports and into their video games. FIFA, the Union of European Football Association, and the International Ice Hockey Federation all leveled sanctions on Russia earlier in the week, starting... I'm recording. Okay, well, hang on. Why didn't you just take them fucking with you?
Gonna look at a new chain wallet right now. Yo, I forgot to tell you, man. My wallet broke. Not the chain, but
Chain boy.
Yeah, the texture.
No.
The texture broke off the wallet. I was gonna use the spiral one, but I'd probably ruin it by putting a hole in it. So I'm gonna try to find me a chain wallet right now, and
Chain boy.
I still got it.
Chain boy.
Chain boy. Yeah, I love this copperized like rose gold chain. So I'm gonna be looking for a chain wallet. And lo and behold, there's nothing really that interesting besides there's a Freddy Krueger wallet.
All right. Well, I'm going to hop back into the news story. FIFA, the Union of European Football Association, and the International Ice Hockey Federation all leveled sanctions on Russia earlier in the week, starting with the UEFA's removal of the Champions League final from St. Petersburg. Then FIFA, under heavy pressure led by Polish Soccer Federation, suspended Russia out of qualifying for the 2022 World Cup on Monday. Also Monday, the International Olympic Committee, which closed the 2022 Winter Games 2 weeks ago, called on all international sports federations to ban Russian athletes and teams from global competition. The IIHF followed suit by expelling Russia and Belarus from 6 tournaments, women's, men's, under-18 juniors, and other world championships to be held between March and September. EA Sports cited these moves, all but the IOC, our licensing partners, in Wednesday's decision to remove Russian and Belarusian teams from its games. Belarus, which borders Ukraine's north, is a Kremlin ally and has been a staging area for the Russian army's invasion of Ukraine. Then it shows a statement from EA Sports, FIFA. EA Sports stands in solidarity with the Ukrainian people, and like so many voices across the world of football, calls for peace and an end to the invasion of Ukraine. In line with our partners at FIFA and UEFA, EA Sports has initiated processes to remove the Russian national team and all Russian clubs from EA Sports FIFA products, including FIFA 22, FIFA Mobile, and FIFA Online. We're also actively evaluating related changes to other areas of our games. We will keep our communities up to date on any actions taken and thank players for their patience as we work through these updates. NHL 22 at the end of January received an update bringing the IIHF recognized national teams in 3 divisions, women's, men's, and juniors, to the game's standard ultimate team, NHL 3s, and World of Shell modes. This latest announcement means those modes will lose those 2 sides within the coming weeks. A statement from EA Sports NHL. Following the IAHF's suspension of all Russian and Belarusian national and club teams from IIHF competitions, we will be removing these teams from NHL 22 within the coming weeks. We stand with the people of Ukraine and join the voices around the world calling for peace. The removals pertain only to Russian teams, whether the national sides in FIFA and NHL 22 or the professional sports clubs CSKA Moscow, Lokomotiv Moscow, Spartak Moscow, and Zenit St. Petersburg. Individual Russian athletes, such as the Washington Capitol superstar Alexander Ovechkin, will remain in the game with their non-Russian clubs. But these removals probably won't be the end of the matter for EA Sports. Codemasters, which the publisher acquired last year, is developing F1 2022 for launch this summer, and Formula One last week canceled the Russian Grand Prix scheduled for September at Sochi Autodrome. The course and the event has appeared in the video game since 2014. Further, US-based Haas F1 team is facing the loss of its primary driver and its sponsor. The fertilizer producer Uralkali is owned by the Russian oligarch Dmitry Mazepin. His son Nikita drove for Haas in the 2022 World Drivers' Championship, coming in last with 0 points and 6 non-finishes. Even if he continues to race with Haas, the United Kingdom's National Motorsport Authority on Tuesday said Mazepin is banned from the 2022 British Grand Prix. Mazepin had already been competing under a neutral flag in both real life and the video game because of the 2-year punishment the World Anti-Doping Agency had handed to all Russian competitors. If he and Uralkali are formally out, they'll need to be stripped from the upcoming game as well. In response to a Polygon query seeking further comment, EA supplied a message for Codemasters regarding F1 2022. Quote, "We are in discussions with the F1 organization and the race schedule for next year." It said, quote, "We will align with the plans for the 2022 season." So, EA Sports taking action and removing Russian and Belarusian sports teams from their games in response to the, I guess, however you want to say it, the football clubs, the hockey organizations.
That's crazy. It's like there's so many fucking cuts happening, and you got WWE that severed ties with Russian broadcast networks, and they canned the WWE network in Russia, so they basically just left Russia in the dark with wrestling. I think AEW is going to do it too. It's kind of crazy, man. I do feel for the people that aren't even involved in this fucking war. It's just because of madman and just whatever the fuck he's doing. Because I think majority of the Russian state is against what he's doing, but obviously he's not.
There's been protests all over these Russian cities for the last week.
Yep.
So
and between banks being pulled, and you got teams being pulled from everything, it's just honestly in the end I think Russia's like really fucking themselves entirely. I don't know what's gonna happen. I feel for my friends over in the Ukraine and my friends in Russia just because of what's happening, and I don't know, I'm just kind of hoping it doesn't go to World War III, but it's slowly succumbing to such an idea. But that's crazy, man. So how many athletes and teams and all that do you think are going to get removed? Because that's pretty.
I don't know about individual athletes, but it sounds like, well, I think I read 3 or 4 team names. I don't know which games those belong to, but it sounds like 3 or 4 teams getting removed from both FIFA and NHL. So,
wow.
I don't know how many athletes total that is, but.
Does that mean the athletes are getting canned too, or are they just
if they're on those teams, then probably.
Wow, that sucks after all the work they probably put into that.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those cases. This is like a very much, it's kind of like the case of like how in school, how the teacher used to punish the whole class for the actions of one student. basically the whole world is being punished for specifically, I guess in this case, Russia is being punished for the actions of one man, and that one man is Vladimir Putin, and that's really fucked up.
Yep.
I'm not saying, and by the way, when I say that, I'm not saying that, anybody's wrong for, putting all these sanctions on Russia. They are completely justified, but I'm saying that it sucks for all of the regular ass citizens who want nothing to do with this,
that are just suffering now. And
yeah,
seems
that are suffering now and will suffer for a long time because of what this fuckhead is doing.
Yep. That's oh man, it just makes you wonder what else is going to happen. In terms of the war, in terms of sanctions, in terms of litigations, and like for example, teams getting cut from games just because they're associated with Russia. It's kind of fucked, really, because I doubt any of those people are for what's happening, but
yeah,
it's just how the world is definitely gonna move and whitewash, and I don't even fucking know what the hell is gonna happen. I guess next game they could put them in, maybe.
If things go back to normal, maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. No one surviving the pandemic equals World War III, essentially.
Yeah, well, sorry to end the show on such a dour note, guys, but we really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the HexxedPhenom Gamescast, the show that brings you the video game news you need to know each and every week. It goes live every Saturday on youtube.com/HexxedPhenom and on podcast services around the globe. But until next time, guys, have a phenomenal week.